The accident. The Academy cafeteria was loud, filled with voices of many alien species. Plates clattered, trays slid across long tables, and strange smells from a dozen worlds mixed in the air. Humans were still new in this place, and most aliens watched them with a mix of fear and curiosity. Among them walked Daniel Hayes, a young human officer in training. He carried himself with calm confidence, but he knew every pair of alien eyes followed him. Humans had surprised the galaxy too many times, and now even a simple lunch felt like walking on a stage. Daniel picked up a tray of food and moved toward an empty table near the far wall. That was when it happened. A slim alien girl, her skin faintly glowing like soft silver, rushed past, carrying a cup of bright blue liquid. She wasn't watching her steps. In her hurry, she bumped into him hard. The drink flew from her hands, splashing across Daniel's uniform. The sharp smell spread instantly, and the bright liquid left glowing stains all over his shirt. The entire cafeteria went silent. Aliens froze in place. Some looked ready to laugh, others looked afraid. Everyone expected the human to explode in anger. They had heard humans were proud, dangerous, unpredictable. One wrong word, one wrong move. This could turn into trouble. The alien girl's eyes went wide. Her glowing hands shook as she dropped the empty cup. She stammered in a soft voice, I am sorry. Please forgive me." Daniel looked down at his shirt. The glowing blue liquid spread slowly, making his uniform look ruined. He could feel all eyes on him, waiting. But instead of shouting, Daniel gave a small smile. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a napkin, and started blotting at the stain. "It's fine," he said calmly. His voice carried across the silent hall. "It's just a shirt." The crowd gasped. Some aliens exchanged confused looks. No one had expected that reaction. The girl's silver skin flickered, showing her nerves. She bent down quickly, picking up the cup with trembling hands. No, please, I must clean this. I cannot leave you like this. It was my mistake." Daniel shook his head. "Really, it's all right." But she stepped closer, her voice desperate. "Please, if I do not fix this, I will be punished. They will say I disrespected a human. Please, let me wash it for you." Daniel paused. He saw the fear in her eyes. It wasn't just about the shirt. Something deeper was hidden in her words. He nodded slowly. "All right. If it means that much, I'll let you help." She let out a shaky breath, her shoulders relaxing a little. The cafeteria noise slowly returned, though whispers rippled through the crowd. Many aliens kept staring, confused by what they had seen, a human showing patience instead of anger. Daniel sat down at the empty table. The alien girl remained standing, clutching the cup in her hands like it was a shield. She looked young, maybe close to his own age. Her silver skin glowed brighter when she was nervous, dimming when she looked away. "What's your name?" Daniel asked, trying to ease her fear. She hesitated before whispering, "Serenia." "All right, Serenia," he said with a kind smile. "Don't worry about it. Really, it was an accident." She looked at him for a long moment, then down at the glowing stains on his shirt. Her voice was quiet but firm. "I will come tonight to clean it. I know a way. Please meet me near the laundry hall." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "You don't have to." But before he could finish, she stepped back, almost bowing, then hurried out of the cafeteria. The blue glow of her hands left faint trails in the air as she disappeared around the corner. Daniel sat there, his shirt glowing faintly under the cafeteria lights. The whispers around him grew louder. Some aliens were laughing, others whispering warnings. A group of reptilian cadets muttered, "The human lets an underclass servant touch him? Strange. Dangerous." Daniel ignored them. He looked at the stain on his shirt and thought about the fear in Serenia's eyes. Why was she so afraid? What punishment was she talking about? And why did she insist on helping? He didn't know the answers, but something told him this small accident was not small at all. Later that night, as Daniel left the training hall, he found himself thinking about her again. The silver glow of her skin, the shaking in her hands, the way her voice carried both fear and determination. He glanced at his shirt. the glowing stain still clear. Maybe it was just a uniform. Maybe it was just a mistake. But deep inside, Daniel felt this was the beginning of something unexpected. And he was right. The apology, the academy halls were quiet at night, lit only by pale white lamps. Shadows stretched across the long corridors, and most cadets were already in their quarters. Daniel Hayes walked slowly toward the laundry hall, his shirt still carrying faint glowing stains. He wasn't sure why he agreed to meet her. Maybe curiosity, maybe something else. As he turned the corner, he saw her. Serenia stood there waiting, her silver skin glowing faintly in the dark. She held a small container close to her chest, as if guarding something precious. When she saw him, her glow flickered nervously. "You came," she whispered. Daniel nodded. "I said I would." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Please, let me clean it before anyone sees." She took the shirt carefully, like it was something sacred. Her hands shook as she placed it into a basin filled with strange blue liquid. The liquid hissed when it too shed the fabric, glowing brighter for a moment before fading. Daniel leaned against the wall, watching her work. Her movements were fast, almost desperate. "You don't have to be so nervous," he said softly. "It's only a shirt." Her hands paused, and she looked up at him with wide, glowing eyes. "No," she whispered. "It is not only a shirt. You don't understand." "Then explain it to me," Daniel said. She swallowed hard. "In my culture, if we cause harm to someone of higher status, we must make it right or face punishment. Humans are seen as higher. If they know I stained your uniform, they will say I disrespected you. They will beat me, maybe worse." Daniel's jaw tightened. He hadn't expected that. He wanted to tell her she was wrong, that humans didn't care about such things. But then he remembered the whispers in the cafeteria, the way other aliens had laughed. Maybe she was right. She lowered her gaze, scrubbing harder. "I come from a low caste. I was lucky they let me into this academy. If I lose my place, I have nothing." Her voice cracked at the last word. Daniel stepped forward. "Serenia." She shook her head quickly, trying to hide the tears forming in her eyes. "I'm sorry. I should not speak like this. Just let me finish. Then you can go." But Daniel didn't move back. He stood close, his voice steady. "I don't care about the shirt. And if anyone tries to punish you, they'll have to go through me." Her hands froze in the glowing basin. She slowly looked up, her eyes searching his face. "Why? Why would you protect me? We are not the same. Humans are feared. I am nothing." Daniel's eyes held hers. "Maybe that's why. Because everyone else thinks you're nothing, but I don't." For the first time, she let out a shaky laugh, half disbelief and half relief. She looked away quickly, but he noticed the corners of her mouth trembling, almost forming a smile. "Yes." He lifted the shirt from the basin. The glowing stains had vanished completely. The fabric looked almost new. She handed it back with both hands, lowering her head in respect. "It is clean now," she whispered. "No one will know." Daniel took it, but he didn't move. He studied her carefully. "You risked a lot just to help me. Why?" She hesitated, then whispered, "Because when I spilled it, I thought you would strike me like others would. But you didn't. You smiled. No one has ever smiled at me before." Her voice was so quiet, he almost missed it. Silence filled the laundry hall. The hum of the academy's machines was the only sound. Then, suddenly, footsteps echoed down the corridor. Serenia gasped, her glow dimming as if she was trying to disappear. She grabbed Daniel's arm, pulling him into the shadows. They pressed against the wall as two alien cadets passed by, their voices sharp. "I heard the human defends her," one said, his reptilian tongue clicking. "If it's true, she's finished. They'll drag her before the council." The other laughed. "She's lowborn, easy target. The human should stay away if he knows what's good for him." Their voices faded as they turned the corner. Serenia's hands were still gripping Daniel's arm, trembling. She slowly pulled back, her eyes filled with fear. Do you see? If they catch me with you, I will be destroyed." Daniel looked at her, then at the dark corridor where the voices had gone. He could have told her to run, to keep her distance, to save herself. That would have been the safe choice. Instead, he said quietly, with steel in his voice, "Then let them see." Her eyes widened. Her silver glow brightened, reflecting both fear and hope. For a moment they just stood there in silence, the air heavy with unspoken meaning. Daniel slipped his shirt back on, the fabric now spotless. But in his heart, he knew something had changed. It wasn't just about a shirt anymore. It was about a bond, fragile, dangerous, and yet impossible to ignore. And somewhere deep inside, Daniel felt that the universe itself had just shifted because of one clumsy accident and one girl who refused to let him go. The connection. Days passed in the academy, but Daniel could not forget that night in the laundry hall. Serenia had cleaned his shirt, yes, but more than that. She had shown him fear, pain, and hope, all in the same trembling voice. He saw her differently now, not just another alien cadet. She was something more. And so their secret meetings began. At first it was small. She would find him in quiet hallways, always nervous, always glancing over her shoulder. They spoke in whispers, exchanging small words like stolen treasures. She taught him about her people, their customs, their songs, their strict rules. Daniel listened, fascinated, realizing how little the galaxy truly understood about her kind. In return, he told her about Earth, its blue skies, the oceans, and how humans laughed even during hard times. The first time he laughed with her, really laughed, her silver glow brightened until it filled the small room. She covered her face quickly, ashamed, but Daniel only smiled. "You look brighter when you laugh," he said. Her glow dimmed shyly, but in her eyes, something new flickered. One evening, when the academy was quiet, Serenia appeared at his door. She carried a small bundle wrapped in cloth. "I brought this," she whispered, handing it to him. Inside was food, alien bread, sweet and warm, with a taste that reminded Daniel of honey and spice. "You made this?" he asked, surprised. She nodded quickly, nervous. "It is forbidden to share with humans, but I wanted you to try." Daniel broke the bread in half and handed a piece back to her. "Then we both break the rule together." For the first time, she didn't look afraid. She smiled, a soft, fragile thing, but it lit her whole face. But joy never stayed for long. That night, as they sat in a hidden corner eating, Daniel felt something strange, a shadow. He glanced up and thought he saw movement at the far end of the corridor. A tall figure lingered there, watching. But when he stood to look closer, the figure vanished. Serenia saw his face pale. "What is it?" she whispered. "Nothing," Daniel said, forcing calm into his voice. "Maybe just my mind." But deep down, he knew it wasn't. Someone had seen them. The next day, rumors spread. 2 alien cadets muttered loudly in the cafeteria. "The human spends too much time with her. Dangerous. Shameful." Others whispered, "She is lowborn. He risks everything." Daniel kept his face calm, but his fists clenched under the table. Serenia sat alone at the far end, head bowed, pretending not to hear the cruel words. That night, when they met again, she looked broken. "They will destroy me," she said, her voice trembling. "Already they whisper. If the council hears—" Daniel stepped closer, his voice low but strong. "Then let them whisper. Let them shout. I don't care. I won't let them harm you." Her eyes filled with tears. She turned away, whispering, "You don't understand. My people, they punish traitors. If they think I chose you, they will not only take me away, they will erase me, as if I never existed." The thought struck Daniel like a blade. He could not imagine her erased, gone, as if she never was. His voice hardened. "Then I'll fight them. I don't care how many. I won't let them take you." She stared at him, shocked by his fire. For a long moment she said nothing. Then slowly she reached out and touched the fabric of his shirt, the same shirt she had once stained. Her fingers trembled as they rested there. "This shirt," she whispered, "it tied me to you. I thought it was only shame. But now—" Her voice broke. "Now it feels like fate." "Dad." Neil covered her hand with his own, firm, steady. "Fate or accident, it doesn't matter. What matters is you're not alone." But as they stood there, a metallic sound echoed in the corridor, a faint clicking, like claws on the floor. Serenia froze. Her glow dimmed instantly. Daniel turned his head sharply toward the noise. Out of the shadows, a pair of reptilian eyes gleamed. One of the alien cadets stepped forward, a cruel smile spreading across his scaled face. "Well, well," the cadet hissed, voice sharp. "What do we have here? A human officer and a low-born servant girl. Together. How very interesting." Daniel tensed, moving slightly in front of Serenia. The cadet's grin widened. "The council will want to hear of this. Oh yes, they will enjoy it." Serenia's breath caught in her throat. Her hand clutched Daniel's sleeve like it was her last anchor. And in that moment Daniel knew this was no longer just about whispers. They had been caught, and the storm was about to begin. The danger. The next morning, the academy felt different. Whispers followed Daniel wherever he walked. Conversations fell silent when he entered a room, and alien eyes lingered on him with sharp judgment. Something had shifted overnight. By midday, the truth hit him. Serenia was gone. Her seat in the training hall was empty. Her name was missing from the attendance list. When he asked, no one answered. Some smirked, others looked away, but one cadet finally muttered, "She has been summoned. The council will decide her fate." Daniel's chest tightened. He knew what that meant. Summons from the alien council were rarely merciful, especially for a lowborn accused of dishonor. That evening, he found her. She was in a small chamber at the far end of the academy, guarded by 2 reptilian soldiers. Her wrists were bound with glowing restraints, and her silver skin had dimmed almost to gray. "Serenia!" Daniel's voice echoed. The guards blocked his way, but she looked up weakly. Her eyes widened with fear and shame. "Daniel, you should not be here." He stepped closer, fury burning in his chest. "What have they done to you?" One guard sneered. "The girl disgraced herself by clinging to a human. She will answer before the council. Lowborn filth must learn their place." Daniel's fists clenched. Every instinct screamed to strike, to fight. But Serenia shook her head slightly, pleading with her eyes. "Don't," she whispered. "If you fight them now, they will destroy us both." That night, the council chamber was full. Alien leaders sat in tall thrones of metal and stone, their faces cold and unreadable. Soldiers lined the walls, their weapons gleaming. Serenia was dragged before them, her glow almost gone. She looked fragile, like a candle about to be blown out. One of the counselors spoke, his voice echoing. "This lowborn stands accused of dishonoring her people by attaching herself to a human. A disgrace, an insult. What say you, girl?" Serenia lowered her head. Her voice shook. "It was an accident. I meant no insult. Please, forgive me." The counselor sneered. "And yet you met him in secret. You shared food. You betrayed our ways. For this, the punishment is clear. Erasure." The crowd stirred. Erasure. The word carried death and worse. It meant her identity, her records, her existence itself would be stripped away. She would vanish from memory, as if she had never lived. Daniel's heart thundered. He couldn't stay silent. He stepped forward, his voice loud and steady. "Enough!" All eyes turned to him. Soldiers shifted, ready to draw weapons, but Daniel didn't flinch. "She did nothing wrong," he declared. "She spilled a drink on me. That is all. I chose to speak with her. I chose to accept her kindness. If there is blame, put it on me." The chamber erupted in gasps. A human defendant. An alien lowborn. Unthinkable. The council leader narrowed his eyes. You dare speak for her? Daniel took a step closer. His voice was iron. Yes, hurt her, and you answer to me. The silence that followed was heavy, like the air before a storm. The council leader's lips curled into a cruel smile. So the human values this servant. How strange. How weak. Another counselor laughed harshly. Perhaps humans are not as dangerous as we believed. They grow soft over a shirt and a girl. Daniel's jaw tightened, but he didn't back down. Call it weakness if you want, but I call it honor. The words rang through the hall like steel against stone. The council gave their verdict. Very well, the leader said coldly. If the human chooses to tie himself to her fate, then let him bear the weight. She will be erased, unless he can prove her worth. Daniel's breath caught. Prove her worth? How? The leader's eyes gleamed. By standing against us. If you believe this girl deserves to live, then fight for her. Show us the strength humans are so proud of. The crowd roared, hungry for spectacle. Soldiers grinned, eager for a fight. Serenya's eyes widened in horror. No, she cried, her voice breaking. Daniel, don't! They will kill you! But Daniel stood tall, his gaze fixed on the council. If that's what it takes, then I'll fight. For her. Serenya trembled, her glowing hands reaching out through the chains held her back. Tears shimmered on her cheeks. Why? She whispered, her voice breaking. Why risk everything for me? Daniel turned, his voice steady, carrying to every corner of the chamber. Because she is not nothing, he said. She is worth more than all your thrones, more than all your rules. You want to erase her? You'll have to go through me first. The chamber shook with shouts. Guards raised their weapons. The council leader leaned forward, eyes sharp as knives. So be it, human, he hissed. Let the trial begin. The bond. The council chamber was silent, heavy like a storm before lightning. Dozens of alien leaders watched with cold eyes, their thrones towering above the floor. Soldiers lined the walls, claws and weapons ready. In the center stood Daniel Hayes, a lone human surrounded by hostile power. Serenya was still in chains, her silver glow faint and broken. She shook her head desperately. Daniel, don't do this. They'll kill you. But Daniel didn't look away from the council. His voice cut through the silence. If you want her erased, then you'll have to erase me too. The chamber erupted in gasps and angry shouts. Some counselors pounded their fists, others laughed at his defiance. The leader of the council raised his hand, and the noise died instantly. Very well, the leader said, his voice like ice. The human will fight. If he survives against our chosen, the girl lives. If he dies, her erasure follows. The soldiers dragged Serenya back as she screamed, No, please don't. Her voice echoed painfully in Daniel's chest, but he stood firm. The trial ground was set. A wide circle opened in the center of the chamber, glowing symbols marking the boundary. From a side door emerged a towering alien warrior, armored in plates of black metal. His claws glistened, his teeth bared in a cruel smile. This is Karzul, champion of our order, the leader announced. If you truly believe the girl is worth your life, human, then prove it. Daniel breathed deeply, his hands empty. He had no weapon, no armor, only his will. The champion roared, stepping into the circle. The sound shook the chamber. Daniel stepped in too, his eyes steady. The fight began. Karzul lunged like a beast, claws slashing through the air. Daniel barely dodged, the wind of the strike grazing his face. The crowd cheered as the human rolled aside, heart pounding. Again the champion struck, faster too. His time. Daniel moved, grabbing a broken piece of chain from the floor. With a sharp twist, he swung it across the champion's arm. Sparks flew. The crowd gasped. You fight like prey, Karzul hissed, circling him. Daniel smirked through the pain in his chest. Funny. That's what the predators always think, until the prey bites back. The champion roared and charged again. Daniel ducked under the blow, slamming the chain against the alien's knee. The giant staggered, surprised. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. For the first time, a human was not just surviving, he was standing. From her chains, Serenya's eyes widened with hope. Her silver glow flickered brighter. She whispered, "He's fighting for me." The champion grew furious, attacking with savage strikes. Daniel's body screamed with exhaustion. Blood ran from a cut on his forehead, but each time he fell, he forced himself up again. Because every time he looked at Serenya, he remembered her trembling hands, her broken voice, and her words. "If they catch me, I will be erased." Not while I'm alive, Daniel thought. Not her. Never her. At last, Karzul raised both claws for a final strike, roaring loud enough to shake the walls. Daniel, battered and gasping, waited until the claws came down, then stepped inside the strike. With a shout, he wrapped the chain around the alien's neck and pulled with all his strength. The giant thrashed, clawing at the chain, but Daniel refused to let go. His muscles screamed, his vision blurred, but he held on until at last the champion crashed to the floor, defeated. The chamber fell silent. Daniel staggered, chest heaving, still standing. The council leader rose slowly, fury in his eyes. "Impossible," he whispered. But the law of the trial was binding. The human had won. The girl could not be erased. The soldiers unlocked Serenya's chains. She stumbled forward, rushing into Daniel's arms. Her silver glow returned, brighter than ever, flooding the chamber with light. Tears streamed down her face as she clutched his shirt, the same shirt that had begun it all. "I thought it was just a mistake," she whispered, her voice breaking. "But it was fate." Daniel held her close, his own voice rough but steady. "You're not nothing, Serenya. You never were." The chamber erupted, not with laughter this time, but with whispers of doubt and fear. Aliens stared at the glowing girl in the arms of a bloodied human. Some looked shaken, some looked inspired. For the first time, they saw not weakness, but strength in unity. The council leader tried to shout, but his voice was drowned out by the murmurs spreading through the crowd. Maybe humans are different. Maybe they are not what we thought. Daniel and Serenya stood together in the circle, their bond undeniable. What began with a spilled drink had become something greater, a spark powerful enough to shake the very order of the galaxy. And as they left the chamber side by side, Serenya whispered, "One shirt changed everything." Daniel smiled, his arm still holding her steady. "No," he said softly, "we did."